Hi, Shreyas.
Yes, sir. How are you, sir?
Good in yourself.
Oh, fine, sir.
Great. Are you able to clearly see everything on the screen?
Yes, sir.
Okay, 100%. So, Shreyas, I want to make sure that we firstly go through that homework that I gave you yesterday. So, let me quickly write down all those problems that we had. I'm glad you were able to give it a try. So we've got just make sure that everything that I'm writing it correctly. Ne?
Yes, sir.
So as I write these problems, just so the other thing, Shreyas, remember if this is given as an equation which is equated to 0, also when you write it down, you need to equate it to 0. Ne?
Yes, sir.
So the second one was x squared. What was it? Was it plus 10x
X minus
minus
56.
56? Okay, yeah. So that means that's correct. And then the other one, it was x squared minus
Minus 20x
20x
plus
plus
91.
91. Yeah, then it's equals to 0. And then the other one, it was x squared minus x plus 17, it's equals to 0. And the last one was x squared minus 2x plus 1, it's equals to 0. So this was it, isn't it? So let me just
Yes, sir.
do that. Okay, so let me see. Where is that? Kyle, it seems like it's just the two of us for this lesson, isn't it? Because I don't
Yes, sir.
see Kyle. Okay, no, it's fine. Remember, in case if it's not available, if it's not available or otherwise, he's busy because I know he's got a lot of assignments, projects, and tests to prepare. So he will catch up on this lesson. It's been recorded. So there is Mr. Kale. Just in case if you want to, let me do this. Let me just try to check if I can be able to allow. Okay, all right, no, 100%. So, Shreyas, let's start with that first problem. So in this case, I'm still going to train you on how to approach this type of questions. So obviously, we've got x squared plus 10x plus 21. So the first mistake that I've noticed, Shreyas, is that you did not equate it to a 0. Name. So
Yes, sir.
it's very, very much important that you equate it to 0. Do you know the reason why it has to be equated to 0, Shreyas?
No, sir.
So it's because if you don't equate it to 0, it's more like it's an expression. Can you see?
Yes, sir.
So if it's like that, then it's more like it's an expression, whereas it was given as an equation. Does it make sense?
Yes, sir.
100%. So now, let's start. Which, wait, Shreyas, are you sure I copied that one correctly? Let me check.
Yes, sir.
Let me check. Uh, Kale, is everything copied correctly there on from your side? Uh, let me check. Shreyas, are you sure? Why am I suspecting something there, Shreyas?
That's all correct, sir.
Let me check. Hmm. Okay, all right, all right. No, thanks, Rias. So now, let's start it. Which, okay. So I'll do this one, Rias. So this is an equation because, no, not just an equation, but a quadratic equation. So why quadratic equation? Because of that letter squared. And again, it's an equation because of that equal sign. So the other question is that, is it in the standard form? And answer to the question, it's a yes. What makes it to be in the standard form? It's because I've got a positive a value over there, and everything is written in that order of letter squared, number x, and then a constant. All of this is equated to 0. So that means I can now go ahead and factorize. So are you happy with everything that I've said, guys? Kele,
Yes,
are you
sir.
there? Are you able to participate in this lesson? Are you unmuted? Shreyas, it's a bit rainy on my side. I'm not sure if the rain is not making noise. Are you able to clearly hear me when I speak?
Yes, sir.
100%. Okay. So, guide me on this one, Shreyas. Which number, or which two numbers, when multiplied together, will give us a what is it? 21. Obviously, we know 1 multiplied by 21, it will give us a 21. Then, which other two numbers, Shreyas, when multiplied together, will give us 21?
7 times 3.
100%. 7 multiplied by 3 will give us 21. So, uh, can these two values be worked out such that they can give us 10?
No, sir.
Then we cancel that. So, can these two numbers be worked out to give us that middle term, which is 10?
Yes, sir.
100%, which means 7 either plus or minus 3 will give us or must give us that positive 10. So then we can say x, then we know 7 and 3 are our factors. So now between 7 and 3, which one takes the sign of the middle term?
The bigger number, which is
Which
7.
is which is 700%. So now, um, what about 3, Shreyas? Is it going to be a minus or a positive?
Minus.
Any reason for that?
So because it will change the sign from a positive to a negative sign.
Okay, let's do it this way. So after you've identified that this and this are your two terms, and again, you said, let's see, the bigger number takes the sign of the middle term. Nay. So this is the step that follows 3 years. So you're going to say positive 7, is it a plus or a minus 3, which is going to give you a positive 10?
Plus positive
So
3.
it's a plus 3, which is going to give you positive 10, isn't it?
Yes, sir.
So 3 years, that is how you get the sign of the second term. So I think you were able to do everything up to that stage, but only missed that stage, 3 years. Have you
Yes,
got a
sir.
light now?
Yes, sir.
Okay, so let's quickly do those. I might as well just leave one for you to work it out. Mr. Kale, are you there? Are you able to hear us? So Shreyas,
Yes,
then
sir.
we've got the second one name.
Yes, sir.
So obviously, this is a quadratic equation because of that letter squared, and it's an equation because of that is equals to, and again, it's in the standard form. Why? Because it's in that order of x squared plus 10x plus c, which is our constant. And again, we've got our positive a value, which makes it in the standard form. So now that it's in the standard form, it means we can straight away factorize. So 3 years, obviously, because there we don't have a number, it's just one. Straight away, we can just say xx, isn't it?
Yes, sir.
So 3 years, obviously you are confident in terms of identifying those two values which can give the middle term, isn't it? That one you don't have a problem with, isn't it?
Yes, sir.
So which two numbers when multiplied together will give us that 56, of which we can work them together to give us that 10. So let's straight away go straight to those factors, because obviously we know 1 times that it gives us that, but we cannot work out the 2 to give us 10. So which two values,
14 times 4.
So you're saying 14 times 4,
4.
is it 56?
Yes, sir.
Okay, let me also confirm. So 14 multiplied by 4, 100%. So that means, what is it? That means 14 and 4, when worked out together, will give us 10, is it?
Yes, sir.
Yeah, I agree. So obviously we've got 14, we've got 4. So what happens from here, Shreyas?
So the bigger number takes the sign of the middle term.
So which means 14, it's positive, isn't it?
Yes, sir.
Then how do we get the sign for that 4? Do you want to give it a try, or should I do it for you?
No, so I can give it a try.
Okay, go for it.
So it'll be 14 plus or minus 4, which has to give us 10, which will be 14 minus 4.
Which means we've got a minus sign over there, isn't it?
Yes, sir.
Now I'm becoming very much happy, 3 years. Only if you can be confident on this one, then on tomorrow's lesson, I want us to move to another different type of factorization, of which, if you must already, I can say you are very close to mastering this type of factorization. And I've noticed that other type of factorization, Shreyas, is it also complicated? Because I've noticed from that question paper you've given it a try, and it seemed like you were mastering it. Is it complicated?
Not really, sir.
Not when compared to this one. Which one would you say it's a bit complicated?
Said the question paper.
No, I mean the type of factorization, because there's that one. Maybe you've got a cubed over there, and you've got maybe x and y. Maybe you've got 4 terms. So that type of factorization versus this one. Are you able to maybe tell which one it's a bit complicated?
So the first one you said. with the 4 terms and like that, sir.
Which one is it? This type or that other type that we haven't done?
The other type, sir.
Or the other type is the one which is a bit complex?
Yes, sir.
Okay, no, then in that way, I can say you are in a safe space, because if you fully understand this type and the other type that I need to introduce, then you'll be ready for grade 11 and 12, because you'll only be continuing with this type of factorization. You will see when we start at 8 o'clock for the next lesson. If you guys are available, you can still join until the end of the lesson. Otherwise, if you've got maybe a lot of homework to do, you can catch up on some other day. So Shreyas, let's try that third one. So it's going to be x squared minus 20x plus 91 is equals to 0. So Shreyas, quickly guide me on this one in terms of what is it, the approach and everything until we get to the end of it. You can just guide me on this one.
Yes, sir. So this is a quadratic equation because of the equal sign and because it's x squared. And it's in a standard equation, and it is letter squared, a letter and a constant.
Yes. Which means,
yes, sir.
So you've now explained it, which means then what is the next step?
To solve it.
Okay, then obviously we factorize. So after that, the next step is to factorize.
Yes, sir.
Then when we factorize, let's try to work out the factors. You can guide me on this one.
So in both our brackets, we have to put x.
X.
So then we have to find what multiplied, two numbers multiplied, must give us 91. Which will obviously be 1 times 91, which is the obvious case. And and the second one can be 13 times 7.
13 times 7. Okay. So obviously, that one we cancel it. It won't work, isn't it?
Yes, sir.
Okay. Then from there, you can continue. I just want to confirm. Okay.
And so then we have to see whether 13 plus or minus 7 will give us 20. Yes, sir. Then we have to take our 13 and put in our first bracket. And our 7 in the second bracket. And since 13 is the biggest number, it has to take the sign of the middle term, which is negative sign. Which is the negative sign. And then we have to see to get our sign for whether positive or minus sign for the 7. We have to say 13 plus or minus 7 will give us 20, which is 13 plus 7 will give us 20. So a positive sign will go in the second bracket.
100%, 100% Shreyas. You see, now you are nailing them nicely. So you just follow that process. So this is what they teach you in grade 10. They just test you if you know how to factorize. When you get to grade 11 and 12, then they want you to solve for x out of that, which is a very simple step. So you just equate this to 0 and you also equate this to 0. Then you separately solve for the value of x. So it's more like you've got 13 minus that x minus 13 is equals to 0. Then you say, oh, x plus 7 is equals to 0. So can you see, when you've got this, you can easily solve for x, Shreyas. Do you want to give it a try?
So to state whether it's true.
Shreyas?
Yes, sir.
Do you want to give it a try where you solve for x? Or should I help you with the first one?
Yes, sir.
So remember, Shreyas. So what I like about this extended lessons is because now that you understand up to that part, we just need to connect the information that I've taught you initially. So this is a very easy thing to do. You'll realize just now. Remember, when you are given this thing, Shreyas, obviously it's a continuation from that original equation. Is this an expression or an equation?
It's an expression.
So this one, Shreyas, a reason why are you saying it's an expression?
Because of the equal sign.
So remember, if we see an equal sign, then it's an equation.
Yes, sir.
So it becomes an expression if there is no that equal sign over there. Can you see?
Yes, sir.
So now, because this is an equation, it means we must solve for the unknown. What is the unknown? The unknown is x in this case. So it takes us back to that statement where we say, what number, when you minus 13, will be equals to 0? I'm not sure if you remember this part, Shreyas.
So it'll be 13.
So that means x is equals to 13. Can you see?
Yes, sir.
So now you've got light, isn't it?
Yes, sir.
So do you want to give it a try, that one? Remember to start from that statement where you explain what exactly is this thing.
So, sir, this is an expression because of the equal sign, and we have to solve for the unknown, which is x.
So remember, Shreyas, we've got an equation, an expression.
Yes, sir.
So which one is this one, Shreyas?
In equation, sir.
It's an equation. So you'll remember to differentiate between an equation and expression. Ne?
Yes, sir.
100%. So now you can proceed.
So this is an equation because of
Mm-hmm.
the equal sign, and we have to
Mm-hmm.
solve for the unknown, which is represented as x.
Mm-hmm.
So the x will be, to get x plus 7 is equal to 0. In the
Mm-hmm.
place, x will be represented as negative 7. Plus 7 will give me 0.
Mm-hmm. So, 3 years. What
Yes,
am
sir.
I writing? What am I writing on the next step? You can just guide me in terms of what to
So
write.
it will be x
Mm-hmm.
equals to
Mm-hmm.
negative 7.
100%. So 3 years. On this one, I just wanted you to notice that. I wanted you to notice that when you are in grade 10, it only ends there. Then, when you get to grade 11, it's extended up to there. Also in grade 12, it's also extended up to that last part over there. So can you see that the more you learn how to factorize, it's going to be easy for you to do that part. Can you see?
Yes, sir.
So that is the reason why I was saying after each and every lesson, I need to give you a solve for X type of a problem so that you get used to factorizing and again solving equations. So can you see? This is from our early lessons. You remember I used to give you something similar to that, something
Yes,
similar
sir.
to that, where I want you to solve for the unknown. So obviously, because now this is where it started, that's why you were a bit stuck on that portion. But I'm glad now you remember. So uh, with this basics, yes, I'm telling you, you will go far because you just need to be aware of this type of information. And when I remind you, you are going to remember. So it's going to take you some time for you to get used to these things. But once you do, Trias, once you do, I'm telling you, with other upcoming lessons and also with your physical science studies, you won't struggle to solve for the unknown. So even if we spend some time on this type of problems, um, just trust me on that one because I know the direction that you are heading to. So in this way, you are heading in the right direction, Tria. So
Yes,
more
sir.
of this type of problems will prepare you for your next grades. So now let's get to that one. Kele, are you still there? Are you able to hear us? And again, are you sure you joined the lesson? Because if you don't communicate, I'm not sure if the lesson is just on and you're not a part of the lesson. Can you maybe just say something? Say hi or
Yes, I'm here.
oh, you are there, ne? But are you following so far? You don't have any questions.
No, it's simple, so it's still simple.
Okay, 100%. Shreyas, let's now continue and proceed to this one. So let's see. Let's see. Which two numbers, when multiplied together, will give us 17?
1 times 17.
1 multiplied by 17. Any other numbers?
No, sir.
So I agree with you on that one. And for this one, obviously, you won't be able to find the factors. So this is where you can say no factors. Tele, I gave you this type of a problem so that I see how you respond to this type of problems where you don't have the factors. So I noticed both of you guys. I think you tried to work it out, even though I'm sure you noticed and you've been wondering yourself, how are you going to do this one? Because you're not finding those two values when worked out together won't give you the middle term. So with this type of problems, and Trias, you are only given this type of a problem which doesn't have the factors when you get to grade 11 and 12. And there's a formula that we use to deal with this type of problems. So you will notice when we do the grade 11 and 12 learners. So it's going to give you an exposure in terms of what type of problems you should be expecting when you get your next grades, and again in terms of how to deal with those type of problems. So when you guys get to grade 11, it will be very much easy for you to understand because you already know what to expect, and again you have an idea of what to use. So normally in grade 11, you are given types of problems where they are possible to find the factors. So ladies and gentlemen, no, there are no ladies. So gents, that means 1, 2, 3, you can possibly find the factors. But when it gets to that one, you can just say no factors. That's if I've given you a problem which doesn't have factors. So now, Shreyas, let's work out that one. I think you also nailed it, that one. But just so that we remind each other of what steps to follow, then then from there we'll be able to then confirm to say what we are doing is right. So let me just quickly do that one in closing, Shreyas, because I've noticed you nailed it, that one. So both of you nailed it, I think. So this is a quadratic equation. Why? It's a quadratic because of that x squared. It's an equation because of that equal sign. And again, it is in the standard form. Why? Because I've got positive a value over there, and again, it's in that order of letter squared, letter, and the constant. And the whole of this, it's equated to 0, which means I can now factorize. So when I factorize, obviously, I've got x, and again, which two numbers when multiplied together gives me 1 and can still be worked out to give me 2. Obviously, 1 times 1 will give me 1. And again, 1 either plus or minus 1 must give me, must give me negative 2. So in this case, it seems like it won't just be 1 plus 1 to give me minus 2. It might need to be plus or minus that, plus or minus that, which means it has to be negative 1, negative 2, negative 1 to give me negative 2. So in this case, it means I've got 1, 1. So we used to say the bigger number takes the sign of the middle term. So in this case, it's the same numbers. So I can just assign any number the sign of the middle term. So obviously, now, because I've got both signs as negatives over there, so that's when I can also give that one what is it, a sign of a negative. So for this one, it seems to be a bit different, but the approach still has to be the same. Then I'm going to do grade grade 11 stuff, where you equate this to 0 or this to 0. So you're going to say x minus 1 is equals to 0, then say x minus 1 is equals to 0. Obviously, then you solve for the unknown, which is x. Then you say x is equals to, you transpose, it becomes 1. So it's the same answer for both problems. Then it ends there. So before I forget, Shreyas, remember, when you prove if this can take you back to that, you multiply that by that, then you get x squared. You multiply that by that, you get minus, minus 1x, that by that, minus 1x, that by that, you get positive 1. Then you work out the like terms plus 1. Then obviously everything has been equated to 0. So I noticed, Shreyas, when you were proving, I think for some, even when you multiply this by that and it wasn't give you that constant, you still wrote that constant. Let's say maybe, for example, you had 4 multiplied by 2. Yeah. So when you multiply this one, they give you positive 8. But in your case, what is it? You find that when you multiply these two, maybe they don't give you 8, but you still wrote 8. It's just that I forgot exactly how you did it. But do you notice what I'm talking about, Shreyas?
Yes, sir.
Yeah, so you're now able to correct it after this lesson, isn't it?
Yes, sir.
100%, 100%, 100%. So, as part of solve for x, there's something called a simultaneous equation, which I want to quickly introduce to the both of you guys. So, Shreyas, I just want to check with you. Do you now understand those types of factorization whereby we can try another different type of factorization?
Yes, sir.
So for now, no need for additional homeworks for that same type, ne?
Yes, sir.
Okay, so I think let me browse through that textbook soon after I'm done with all of my lessons. Then I'll prepare for that lesson tomorrow. But one thing for sure, I'll need to give you one or two problems where you need to solve for X. And again, I'll still need to introduce you to another type of solve for X because it also corresponds with the other type of factorization that I need us to work on. There's something called solve for X and Y simultaneously. Guys, do you have an understanding of what does simultaneously mean?
So, so it means continuous or something.
Sorry, say again. You're saying it means what?
So it's matching. It
Oh, you
balances
say
the.
matchy. You're saying you used the word matchy, name.
Yes, sir.
Okay, so I'll just explain shortly. Let's say x plus y that's equals to 4, and then let's say 2y. I'm just trying to think of something here. 2y minus, let's make it 3x is equals to, I'll just say 7. Okay, let me just leave it there. So sometimes, Tele and Trias, you might be given a problem similar to that one where they say solve for x and y simultaneously. So when they say solve for x and y, it means in the end you must give the value of x, and again you must give for the value of y. So that word simultaneously, it simply means at the same time. So at the same time. So trias, which means simultaneous, means at the same time. So for us in our lessons, let's all remember that word simultaneously, uh, uh, which means at the same time. Name.
Yes, sir.
100%. So when they say simultaneously, they simply say you can firstly solve for the value of x, and then after you solve for y. Or otherwise, it's up to you. You can firstly solve for the value of y, then after solve for the value of x. It's up to you which one you do first. Nay. So because you guys are still in grade 10, they don't give you complicated type of equations. Yours are always easy. You just need to understand the procedure when you solve for these things simultaneously. So Shreyas, that first thing, is it an equation or an expression?
An equation, sir,
Why?
because of the equal sign, and we have to solve for
And
the unknown, which is x and y.
100%, 100%. So now, because we are solving them simultaneously, then we say this is equation number one. Name. So
Yes, sir.
Shreyas, what is that one? The second one.
So it's also an equation
Mm-hmm,
because of the equal sign, and you have to
mm-hmm.
solve for the unknown, which is x and y.
100%. So now this is equation number two. So that means you were given equation number two, number one, and number two. So you need to derive equation number three. How do you derive equation number three? You need to make either x or y the subject of the formula. Kele, unmute your mic. I will need your participation on this one. Shreyas, do you understand that part where I say you need to derive equation number three?
Yes, sir.
So, Kele, when you derive equation number three, what guides you in terms of how to derive equation number three? I just want to hear from you.
So it's either you solving for x first or you solving for y.
So, how do you decide to make x or y the subject of the formula?
It's up to you. So which one you're gonna solve first? So for example, for equation 3, you're gonna say x equals 4. X equals 4 and then plus y, or my negative y minus.
But why are you choosing x and not y?
It's up to you. So which one you wanna solve first?
So for now, you understand as which one you want to do first, isn't it?
Yes.
Okay. Kele and Shreyas, let's agree on this one. Shreyas, unmute. I'll also need your participation on this one. So, guys, when you are given these two types of problems named, for you to decide whether to make x or y the subject of the formula. Shreyas, before I continue, do you understand this part of making something the subject of the formula?
Yes, sir.
100%. So, guys, for you to decide, you are guided by equation number two. So, I'll give you an example, guys. Let's say that equation number two, it was not like that. Let's say it was 2y squared minus 3x is equals to y. Let's say this was our equation number two. I just wanted to make sense, when I say you are guided by equation number two. So guys, when you decide, you check how complicated is equation number two. So just so that it makes sense, can you see if you decide to make y the subject of the formula there on equation number one, it means you're going to have y is equals to 4 minus x, which means since this is your y, you need to substitute it there on equation number two and again substitute it there. Then you're going to have a very lengthy equation to solve. So Shreyas, wherever we see y there, we substitute that because we made y the subject of the formula. So you're going to minus 3x, it's equals to, this is for minus x. So can you see, you had to substitute 2 times. And remember, that part I'm going to teach you maybe on our next lessons. But I think, yeah, no, you do know that if you have a squared there, it means it's 4 minus x, 2 of those, 2 of the same thing. Then minus that, remember everything else remains the same. So can you see how lengthy is that problem over there? So let's check if we made x the subject of the formula. So if you make x the subject of the formula, obviously you're going to say x is equals to, you move everything to the other side. Then you've got 4 minus y. So can you see, you only substituted once there, which means you've got 2y, which is that one, minus 3 into, then you've got 4 minus x, you close, wait, minus y. Remember, we made x the subject of the formula, minus y, this is equals to y. Then from there, you can easily solve and proceed with the problem. Kele, did this make a complete sense to you?
Yes.
So can you see why I was asking you how do you decide which one to make the subject of the formula?
Yes, now I remember it's equation 2.
So Shreyas,
Yes, sir.
would you like if I explain again, or do you follow?
No, sir, I follow, sir.
So it makes sense, ne?
Yes, sir.
100%. So I'm going to solve this one for you guys so that going forward, you also have an idea. So because you guys are in grade, you guys are in grade 10, it's not that much complicated to decide which one to make the subject of the formula. But for me, I like substituting where you've got positive values. For example, if I substitute it there, so I'm multiplying with a positive 2. If I substitute it there, I'm multiplying with negative 3. Even though it doesn't matter whether you make x or y the subject of the formula. So whichever that you choose, you can still get the correct answer. But for now, I just want to show you using that method that I say it's simple. So I'm going to make what is it? Y the subject of the formula. So that means it's going to be y, it's equals to 4 minus x. I hope everyone agrees with me on that one. So that means I'm going to substitute, remember this is equation 3. So I'm going to substitute equation 3 into equation, what is it? Equation 2. So obviously, not in equation 1 because I used equation 1 to derive equation number 3. So I'm going to use equation number 3 to substitute into equation number 2. So why are you substituting? It's because you want to have the same letters and just solve for one letter. Let's see. So obviously we've got 2. That means wherever we see y on equation number 2, we substitute the whole of that. So in 2, we've got 4 minus x close minus 3x. It's equals to 7. Guys, Tele and Shreyas, do you guys agree with me so far? Does it make sense? Do you understand?
Yes, sir.
100%. So, Shreyas, what is this thing?
So it's an equation because of
Why?
the equal sign. And we have
Because
to
of the
solve for the
equal sign,
unknown,
ne?
which is x.
Which is x in this case. So, obviously, you know our starting point we always look for where there are brackets, isn't it? That is our starting point. So in this case, it means we've got the brackets there, which means we are going to say that multiplied by that and that multiplied by that. So 2 times 4, it's equals to 8. 2 multiplied by that, it's equals to minus 2x. Anything else remains the same. It's equals to 7. Then, obviously, we can work the like terms. So we've got 8 minus 2 minus 3, I think it's minus 5x, which is equals to 7. So, Trias, now that we have
Yes,
worked
sir.
out the like terms, remember, we want to have letters on the left equated to numbers. So you don't need to write that part. It's just to make you understand in terms of where we are going. So you transpose, which means anything else remains as it is. So you've got 7 minus 8. So minus 5 x is equals to, what is that? I think it's minus, it's negative 1. Yes. So
Yes, sir.
can you see, we've got that negative 5 that we need to remove. So how do we remove it? We just divide by negative 5. Remember, what you do on the left, you do on the right. Why did you have to divide by minus 5? It's because you wanted it to cancel so that you remain with x, which is equals to, obviously those cancels, then you just remain with 1 over 5. So can you see, we already got the first value of the unknown, which is what? Which is x. So remember, they said solve for x and y simultaneously. So what does it mean? It means we now need to use equation number 3 to solve for the value of y. So that is the reason why we made that y the subject of the formula. Is because we wanted to calculate the value of x so that we substitute it there to get the value of y, which means, remember, that third equation is y is equals to 4 minus x, which is equals to 4 minus Shreyas, what is our
Yes,
x
sir.
value there?
So the x value is 1 over 5.
100%, 1 over 5, close. So what is the y value?
So, so y value is so y value is 19 over 5, which is
Impressive.
13.3.8.
So you can just leave it there in that fraction. And in the end, you say 1 over 5 being the x and 19 over 5 being the y. Shreyas, in just one
Yes, sir.
lesson, you've learned, you've successfully learned simultaneous equations. And based on your response, you seem to be understanding. It could be just a matter of you practicing more and more of this type of problems. Do you think
Yes,
it
sir.
was that much complicated?
Not really, sir.
Not really, ne?
Yes, sir.
So in most cases, Shreyas, mathematics is not that much complicated, especially if you've got someone who's able to explain until you understand. For as long as you can understand just one type of a problem, uh, almost all of the type of problems are the same. You just need to be good in following mathematical procedure. What do I mean by that? I mean, when you substituted, you should be able to know that to remove the brackets, you times like that, you work out the like terms, then you want to move all the numbers to the left, letters on the right, then from there you find the value of the unknown. In this case, because it's a simultaneous equation, you then substitute into equation number 3 to get the y value. So it's as simple as that. So can you see, Shreyas, it's just a lengthy calculation. It's not that much complicated. You'll see when we do problems for grade 11 and 12, you will still be able to understand, which should give you an encouragement that you just need to practice more and more and more. Can you see? Mr. Kele,
Yes,
are you
sir.
happy there?
Yes, I'm happy.
So would you say with that other one, would you like to see me solving it for you, or would you like if I just look at that calculation of yours and tell if it's wrong or correct?
You can solve it.
Okay. I think we are remaining with something like 4. Okay. We are remaining with something like 4 minutes before the start of that other lesson. Can you maybe tell me what was it? What was that problem?
3x
3x
plus y
plus y
equals 2 equals 2,
mm-hmm.
and at the bottom 5x
5x
minus 3y
minus 3y.
equals negative 34.
So this one at the top is equals to what?
2.
Oh, okay. All right. So the problem says solve for x and y simultaneously, isn't it?
Yes.
Shreyas, are you still there? I want to try and
Yes, sir.
quickly do this one in less than 3 or 2 minutes. Then I want to see if you guys are going to understand, even though I'm doing it quickly. So, guys, you are given this problem. You're given this problem where they say solve for x and y simultaneously. So this one, you can take it as your equation number 1, this as your equation number 2, which means you need to derive equation number 3. So between these two equations, it seems like it's easy when you make y the subject of the formula. So in this case, you cannot really say I would like to make x the subject of the formula, even though you can still do, but you'll be complicating your life. I'll give you an example. Let's say we make x subject of the formula there. So that means you're going to have 3x, it's equals to 2. You transpose y, it's minus y. Then you need to divide by 3 so that it cancels, which means x is equals to 2 minus y over 3. Then this becomes your equation 3. So just imagine having to substitute this where you see x way there. So you're going to have 5 into 2 minus y over 3 minus 3y. It's equals to negative 34. So guys, can you see how frustrating it is to be dealing with fractions? You still have to multiply everything then over 3. Guys, I'm not sure if you understand my point on this one.
So I understood it, sir.
100%, which means in this case, you don't have a choice but to just make y the subject of the formula, because already you won't have a fraction. So just to add to our notes, it means when you decide between x and y, you don't want to be having fractions after making one letter the subject of the formula. So that means I've got y, which is equals to 2 minus 3x. Easy. Then I'm going to substitute equation 3 into equation number 2. So let's see. Where I see y, I'm going to substitute that. So I've got 5x minus 3 into, then is 2 minus 3x, it's equals to negative 34. Then, obviously, at all times when you're given an equation, you need to look for the brackets. If you've got the brackets, then you know it's that times that. So anything else remains the same. So it's negative 3 times 2, it's minus 6. Negative 3 times negative 3, it's a positive 9. Remember that x. It's equals to negative 34. Then, do I have the like terms? I do have. Then it's 14x minus 6. It's equals to negative 34. So now that I no longer have the like terms, I want to have the letters on the left, the numbers on the right. So I've got 14x, which is equals to, already I had negative 14. I'm just going to transpose that 6. It changes the sign, it becomes positive 6. So I've got 14x, which is equals to, what is that? Is it 28? Is it negative 28? Let me just quickly confirm. Negative 34 plus 6, 100%, it's negative 28. So that means I need to divide by 14. Why 14? It's because I need to remove that 14 so that I just remain with x. What you do on the left, you do on the right. So that means your x value is equals to that divided by that. I think it's, what is it? Is it 12 or what is it? 28 divided by 14. Oh no, it's 2. So that means my x value is equals to negative 2, because that, the whole of that, when you punch on a calculator, it gives you negative 2. So remember, guys, your final answers has to be hang up, and then from there, let me continue. So the x value is negative 2. We need the y value. Then that's why you substitute on that equation number 3, which is 2 minus 3x. Got to put my thing on do not disturb. So obviously it's minus 3 into, you just substitute the x value. Then you punch the whole of this. I think it's 2 times that is 6. It's a positive 7, 8. I think it should be 8, which means our y value is 8. Guys, I'm not sure if you understood that part, even though it was quick. Did you guys understand?
Yes, sir.
Yes.
So, are you happy, guys, with this one?
Yes, sir.
Okay, 100%. So, guys, this brings us to the end of our lesson for today. I noticed we're supposed to be starting at 8, but let's just end this call. Then from there, I'll start another lesson just now. So you guys are also welcome. But otherwise, I know you might be having some tests or whatever to prepare. So it will just be an optional lesson for you guys. Otherwise, if you're not able to, you can catch up. I'll make sure to post it and share with you guys the link. So I'll see if I can give you some problems to work on. I'm just aware Tele is busy preparing for his exams. So I'm not sure on your side, Trias. Are you not having pressure on your schoolwork?
No, sir. I'm also preparing for exams as well.
Oh, you're also preparing, ne?
Yes, sir.
Okay, no, it's fine. I think for now, let's not have any homeworks. So as soon as you guys are done with your exams and everything, we will still be continuing, most even if we have a 30 minutes lesson, just to keep our minds active. Is that fine with you guys?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Okay, 100%. So guys, thanks for joining. I'm going to end this lesson. So if you're busy, guys, don't attend. You'll catch up. I'll post it online. So